Hey guys, welcome back to the Fastbreak-Podcast. I'm super excited to be recording this episode. We're going to be doing this episode a little differently. Today I'm just going to record my audio and play something Sacramento Kings related on the screen. It's probably going to be 2K or actual clips of the Sacramento Kings, and I appreciate for you guys' cooperation with this new approach I'm taking. If you guys would like to comment on if you like this approach or you like the video recording better. Make sure you let me know and I will get back to you guys soon. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how the Sacramento Kings have to win this season, have to win at home this season to make the playoffs and just to have a successful season in general. We're also going to be talking about how what Tyrese has to say about the Sacramento Kings franchise, because he's been saying a lot about and a lot of his opinions on the Sacramento Kings after when they traded him. And we're going to wrap up the video talking a little bit about the Sacramento Kings schedule. It's not going to be talked about a lot because there's not a whole bunch of talk about the Kings schedule other than it's going to be a difficult season. So that's what we're going to be talking about today on this week's episode. And let's get right into the video. Okay. Alright, now we're going to have to be talking about how the Sacramento Kings have to win their home games to be able to make the playoffs or just have a successful season in general. So the Sacramento Kings have not been doing good winning home, which is not good because in the playoffs you're going to have to play a lot of home games, and if the Kings can't just win home games in general, they're not going to get good at all. Okay, last NBA season the Kings won 30 games and lost 52 and were 12th placed in the Western Conference. This isn't good. The Kings are going to have to up that to either 40 or around that high 30s range to be able to make a plan, because this Western Conference is looking really talented, especially if most of the conference is healed. Then it's going to be tough to be able to get into the play-in with around 30 wins. So the Kings really need to up that to around 40 so they can make the playoffs. Here's a little fun fact for you. When the Kings are in the postseason, they are 70% chance likely to win the game, which is extremely high for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 16 seasons. But that shows when the Kings make the playoffs and they're that good, they could be a real threat in the NBA. Because the Kings' all-time regular and the all-time postseason record is 117 wins and 50 losses. So that is really good for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in so long. And the Sacramento Kings win percentage last season was not good. It's way below 50%. Below 40%, it was 36%. 36% chance that you're going to win is not good for an NBA team with professional athletes. So the Kings really need to step up this year and see what they can do. And the Kings, something that the Kings also need to improve to be able to win home games and away games actually, is their turnovers, because they've been averaging over 15 turnovers a game last season, and that's just not good. So the Kings really need to really take care of the ball and play every possession like it's a game-winning shot. Okay, moving on from the Kings having to win home games, because it's pretty straightforward. The Kings just have to take care of the basketball and just play every game like it's the championship game. They just gotta play their heart out every single game. Okay, moving on, we're gonna talk about Tyrese and what he has to say about the Sacramento Kings franchise, because he's had a lot to say about them trading him. And I just gotta say real quick, it's not the Sacramento Kings. It wasn't a bad decision because the Kings because the De'Aaron Fox, our star player, did not work well with Tyrese, and we needed to get rid of a guard, and we didn't want to. And we're basically saying now that Tyrese is better than De'Aaron Fox, and I don't think that. I think De'Aaron Fox is going to have a way more successful career than Tyrese has had so far, that he's going to have in the future. No disrespect to Tyrese, but De'Aaron Fox is just more talented. Another thing I have to say about this, people have been hating on the Sacramento Kings about this trade, also because they traded a really young star that's going to be great someday. We know he's going to be great someday, and that he's a young star, but the Kings are in a win-now situation. They're basically done with the rebuild. They're trying to just win basketball games now. And so picking up Domantas Sabonis, That's a 2-time All-Star trade for a 2-season player. So I feel like it was just a great trade in general, and I feel like it was a great move for the Sacramento Kings to get them in a win now situation. Now I'd also like to say the Pacers see Tyrese as their next Reggie Miller. I just want to point that out really quick, that they think he's going to be the next Reggie Miller. Put down what you think about that in the comments, because I think it's kind of ridiculous. Tyrese Halliburton also said in a quote that Kings have to regret this trade. That he wants the Kings to regret this trade because he thought he was a really good player on this team. He thought he fit in perfectly, and he sees the Pacers as the blessing. End quote. I feel like Tyrese Halliburton could say whatever he wants about the trade. It's his feelings. It's his, but it's business, man. This is a business. You're gonna get traded. Like he said also in a quote. His other friends that were in the NBA before him said you're not a real NBA player until you get traded. So he can say all this stuff, but in the end result, it's just business. The thing I would like to talk a little bit on is the Kings' schedule this season. What I'd like to say this season for the Kings is that they have a tough season. They're playing a whole bunch of good teams on the road. They have a 10-game road trip or something, and it's against teams like the Wizards, the Bucks, Sixers, all these really good teams that are playoff teams or championship contenders. So they gotta make sure they're in a nice groove going into that series, those series of games, and that they could just do what they can to get the job done. The Kings also have a back-to-back game against the Mavericks on February 10th and February 11th. I feel like it's going to be a great series. It's going to be Luka Doncic versus the new and improved Sacramento Kings. Make sure to put down below in the comments who do you think are going to win those 2 games, and hopefully you were right. Sacramento Kings also have a span where they're playing Denver Nuggets on December 27th, and then the next day they're also playing the Nuggets, and they're playing the Utah Jazz, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Utah Jazz again, Atlanta Hawks, and Los Angeles Lakers. That's going to be a tough span. It's probably not going to be the Utah Jazz that are going to be the difficult parts. Most likely going to be the Denver Nuggets, Memphis Grizzlies, and everyone else besides the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are probably going to be a piece of cake if Donovan Mitchell's gone by that time. So I'm going to make sure the Kings are ready for that series ahead, and got to make sure that they're ready. Sacramento Kings also have a span where they're playing Portland Trailblazers on March 29th and March 31st. I think those are going to be 2 big games because I think they're going to be neck and neck for either the play-in or the playoffs, because they both look like really talented teams that are trying to make a playoff run this season. And so I think those 2 games are going to be really crucial, and make sure to watch those games. Mark it down on your calendar. And then actually right after that, they're playing San Antonio, which is actually a good break, which would probably be an easy victory for them. But then they're playing the New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, and the Denver Nuggets as the last games of the season. That's going to be tough too, because if they're right on the edge of either making the plan or making the playoffs, they're going to make sure to secure those wins so they could stay secure in their spot, because those are some tough teams: New Orleans, Dallas, Golden State, and Denver, especially if they're all healthy. That's going to be it for this video. Make sure to comment down below to see if you enjoyed this new approach I'm taking for today's podcast episode. And guys, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend or someone that would enjoy this kind of content. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys next week.